do us a little project this morning. This is a drill press hold down vise. Now this is a Harbor China tool. I picked it up a week or so back, and you know, they come blue. I painted it black. I don't like blue tools for some reason. I just don't like them. Now on my little mini mill, I don't have a milling vise to hold anything, and I have a project coming up where I'm going to need it. And a proper mini mill vise is out of my range right now. So I'm going to modify this one to where I can use it, make it work. And what I've done, when I took this all apart, there's the other jaw right there. I know you machinists out there, I know this is not proper, but this is what I've got. And when I do get a proper milling vise, I can use it for bench top vise or something like that. The trouble is, these little jaws that come in it sit like this. Let's see, and it's okay on the drill press for holding a piece of wood or something, or a piece of metal, so where you can see this. Right here, there's a gap, a dip. Now in that dip, there's say if I wanted to hold a piece right here and put a couple of parallels in there, it'll never be straight. So instead of trying to mill all this stuff down, which I'm not experienced enough to do that just yet anyway, what I'm going to do, I have this big chunk of aluminum that my buddy machinist friend Ryan sent me. And you put that in there, that covers that. Still have to do a little bit of flattening, but that covers that. Now I'm going to say it one more time, this is not a precision deal here. This is just something to get me by. That little lip right there I might have to take off, but that'll fill that up. And this is big enough, I'm going to cut it off here. I'm going to measure this with the calipers and split it down the middle on my bandsaw. And then I'll transfer the holes from these to there. It'll be a little bit taller, which would be good anyway. It'll be a little bit taller than these. Then what I can do is when I get it mounted in there, I'll put the cut side up and then take an end mill and go across and flatten them to each other. Now I think that'll work. I've been meaning to do this little project for a while, but I've got so many projects I want to do, and there's just not enough time to do them all. And that will give me a good enough vise to start with for right now. A little bit thinner this would have been better, but this is all I have, so that's what we're going to use. Alright, we're just going to take our calipers and measure this way. The 2.5 inches, half of that. I'll half that and scribe me a line down here. Maybe it'll work. Well, alright, here we go. First milling operation I've ever done. Now, the collet chuck I had in there to hold the end mills would not get down in there far enough to get this little, I tried to file it, but that's too much. Get this little ridge off of there. So I put the chuck back in there, the drill chuck, and I'm very, very lightly going to try to nibble that off of there. It's just barely touching as it goes across. and I'm assuming it needs to run on a higher speed, so I get on my safety glasses, my flak jacket, and all that stuff. Let's check it out and see. Let's see, let's turn it on. One thing I can see right now is I'm gonna have to get a better light. Hang on, let me grab my flashlight and we'll see about moving it in a little bit and going nibbling that off of there. How am I doing, Ryan? Alrighty, I shortened up. I pushed this on up in the chuck to shorten this up some. And I've got my little flat here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go in and just touch that. I'm going to come out. And I don't have a way to measure that, but it is very, very shallow. It's not very much of a cut. But I'm still going to go very lightly. Just a little bit. Let's see on this side. Well, that won't lock down. Maybe. Let's see. Let's crank it back up again and see what happens. Alright, it just barely touched, so I want to move it in a little more. Wrong way. Alright, that should cut it right there. I'll get there. Just don't want to take too much at one time. Alright, let's try that. that looks pretty good. It almost got it all off of there. Now, should I go back or should I go all the way back and start over again? I think I'll come back and start over again that way. Alright, one more cut. And let's see. Nope, didn't get it quite deep enough. So we got to come back through and make one more pass, just a touch deeper, and I think I'll have it. Now the trouble I'm having, the end mill right here is rubbing on the top. It's not deep enough to get down in there. So, but I'm so close that I'm going to just go ahead and take this out and put it in the vise and file it down. It's just there. So then I'll take this out, put the end mill holder back in for when I do the across the top, and we'll see some of that. Now the reason I made this cut, well I didn't try to make it, it worked. On this jaw here, and on the other one too, I'm going to have to do, is a little tiny lip there. So this, in the woodworking world, this is called a rabbit joint. So instead of trying to grind all this and file all this, which didn't seem to work real well, it's going to sit right down there like that. Well, there we go. Now I got the other side. Do the same way. This makes a mess, you know that? Alright, this is my little makeshift here. See how that looks. Alright, machine guys. Brian, how am I doing? Oh, I did oil it. I didn't get any cutting oil yet, but that's that's just what I had. That's air tool oil. Figured it'd be better than nothing on this aluminum. Let's see, knock off the sharp edges. I remember that. That's why I love YouTube so much. You learn so much watching you all guys. Now, let's go over here and see if it fits on the other side. I have to write down everything so I don't forget what's what. Let's go look. Alrighty, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. It sits flat down on here. Now I have to measure the holes. See if I can do it with that. Drill the holes and get ready to, I got some socket head bolts I'm going to put in there. And get everything polished because it's still rather rough. And we'll see how that goes. Pretty cool. Now I got a big pile of aluminum chips I got to clean up. That's a good thing. Alrighty, this is what it's looking like. Only 2 little flubs. I countersunk my holes on this jaw on the wrong side, so I had to mill another little rabbet joint in there to cover that. But it'll be okay. This part here still sits flat down on there, so once it tightens up, it'll be okay. The other small problem I have, my socket head bolts are standard size. The threads in here, just barely caught, are metric. So I'm going to have to get out the tap set, see if I can retap these holes. Shouldn't be a big problem, because all it's got to do is hold. If I can get it tight enough just to hold them in place, it'll be okay. So let me do that, then we'll put the whole thing back together and then mill that top. I like that milling thing. That's pretty cool. Alright, got this one done. Don't laugh at my little Harbor China Store tap set. That's all I got. I will graduate one day and get a proper set, but this works just fine for now. We're just about, yep, we're at the bottom of that one. There we go. Now the other one will be a little bit tougher because it's on the fixed jaw, but that's okay. We'll get it done too. Alright, almost done. I got everything, got the jaws mounted in there. I'm going to have to trim off the ends because they didn't quite line up, but that's okay. Now the last thing, this wound up taking all day, but that's okay too. I've got it set up. I'm going to try to mill the top flat. I'm just going to go back and forth with the end mill and get it really close. It doesn't really matter, but it just look a lot nicer. And for these edges here, I don't have a longer cutter, but we'll worry about that later on. But or I may put it over on the sander or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to do some cutting here, and I'll show it to you when it's all finished. Unless y'all want to see it cut a little bit. Now I'll put some oil on it. I never did get any good quality cutting oil. This is just what I have. This is some air tool oil. I had some of that left in the bottle, so this is better than nothing. Here we go. Alright, first pass did not clean it up all the way. It got this jaw here real good. And just the edge of this one. So I want to go down a little bit more and make another pass. I'm just going to barely touch it off there, and whatever it winds up, that's how it'll be. Now I don't have any way of measuring the thickness of how much I'm taking off. I'm still trying to figure this thing out. This little thing here, the fine adjust, unless I'm doing something wrong, that don't work. So let's see. As long as I'm real careful not to take too awful much at one time, I think it'll be okay. Alright, we have a finished up project. Now, precision, it is not. Will it work? Yes, it will. Now, I tried to trim off the ends here with the end mill, but I don't have the proper cutter. The end mill is it's not made to do that, I don't think. So I've got a little spots right here that on either side I've got to trim off at some point, but that's okay. It's fine. I got a good smooth finish across here. I put it on the belt sander for just a second, smoothed it out. And will it work? It works. See inside there, I've got the socket head bolts recessed in there. And I think that's going to do just fine. Now, special thanks to my friend Ryan that sent me all the end mills and stuff that I used in this. Sent me the aluminum, and I can't be happier with that. That's perfect. Now this will do me until I can get a proper vise, and after I do, I can mount this somewhere and still use it. It's perfectly fine. And let's see, what else about... That's the first milling operation I've done on the milling machine. The first milling I've ever done at all, for that matter. I watched YouTube after YouTube after YouTube of machine shop videos. I really enjoy that. And I sort of like it. The only thing about it is it makes a humongous mess. So I've got a couple hours of cleanup to do, but that's okay too. No problem. So what do y'all think? There is my improvised machinist vise. Now, like I said, I got a project coming up that I'm gonna need this, and that will be coming up in the next week or two. Next restoration project will be the Craftsman vise. And after that, I have a really cool one. Really cool. My buddy Kevin come by this morning and dropped something off for me. Now this will be a teaser. Who knows what that is? I'm not going to open it. This is from World War II. That's going to be cool right there. But I've already committed to the vise next. I've got a couple of knives to do tomorrow. And a couple of sheaths to do. I didn't know this was going to take all day, but it did. But that's okay. And it's just busy, folks. I've got more to do than I can do. So I'm just slowing down and doing what I can as fast as I can. Alright, let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up. Share the video. Subscribe if you're not already. And all that would appreciate. I would appreciate that a lot. I really would. Because we're trying to get the viewer count up and the subscriber count up. And I thank y'all for watching. Thank you for your support. And I will see y'all in a day or so with something.